almost 70 years ago, could it have been that long, Kohler wrote his essays on the place of value in the world, in a world of fact, talking about the cultures of religion and the cultures of science. But if someone were to write a two-culture essay today, it wouldn't necessarily be the obvious one about religion and the obvious one about science. It might be the place of virtue in a world of vice, or the place of virtue, period. It is no longer a question of a conflict between reason and right reason, between science and religion. It's a question of morality and nihilism. It's a question of a society that professes to have some values, to believe in something, and the trend towards a society where anything goes. Today, groups that advocate simple things like character are greatly misunderstood. And the reason for that is that character suggests that we are crafting ourselves, making ourselves, conforming ourselves to some set of values. Yet the ultimate message of our society is that we are either this force that comes from within ourselves and expresses ourselves outward, whatever the consequences, or we are a kind of the ultimate kind of consumption device reflective of everything that's going on in our society. It's not really new. In ancient times, it was a conflict, for example, between Dionysus, wine, pleasure, and Apollo, reason. So what we need to look at in terms of defining a new two cultures essay, if we're going to look at two cultures, would be the difference between Saturday night and Sunday morning. The difference between indulgence and sacrifice, the difference between sobriety and excess. In conclusion, perhaps the most important thing about our time is not the conflict between reason and faith, but the conflict between virtue and vice, the concept that the important thing about a man is the content of his character, or simply that a man is something that consumes and expresses whatever happens to be on his mind at any